2,500 empty shoes, a visual perspective of men's suicide in Australia. I'd like to thank the founder of this event and the founder of Zero Suicide Awareness Program, Paul Withell, for again organising this memorial event. I'd like to acknowledge the original inhabitants of Canberra, the Ngunnawal people. I'd also like to take a moment to honour Senator Jim Molan, who passed away earlier this year. Last year, Senator Nolan attended this event, taking time during his treatment for cancer to place a pair of army boots on the lawns here to represent the men in Australia's Defence Force who died by suicide. Senator Molan was moved to tears when he saw the display of the 2,500 boots and offered his full support in obtaining gendered services for the men and boys of Australia, and in particular, support to instate a Minister for Men. I would like to welcome those of you in particular who have lost loved ones to suicide, and would like to extend my sympathy to you and your families on behalf of all of us present here today. I would like to ask you all to please stand for the national anthem. We will only be listening to the instrumental version of our anthem today, and ask that as you listen, that you would consider the 2,500 souls of those men who took their lives and whose spirits now fill the skies above us. Thank you. You may be seated. I'd like to welcome Paul Withell, the President of Zero Suicide Community Awareness Program, to the podium. Paul has worked tirelessly and passionately over the past several years in order to create change for the men and boys of Australia. Paul lives at the coalface of men's suicide, spending the majority of his working hours supporting men who are on the brink of suicide. He has created his own support network for these men, giving up his time, his money, and all of his resources to save lives, one man at a time. His heart is pure and his mission is unstoppable. When Paul isn't working one-on-one with these men, he's petitioning government leaders for change. He's relentless and passionate with his calls for a Minister for Men and for a gendered support network for the men and boys of our nation. Paul is a humble man whose focus is on those in our community who have no support. I'm honoured to call this man a friend, and my admiration for him and his work far exceeds the few words I have time to say here today. Please welcome Paul Withell.
Thanks, everybody. Today is about grief and healing and bringing real-world change to this epidemic in Australia. I'm privileged to welcome the Djum Dharma House, Canberra, who will now present some shoes from the men and boys that have been sent in from around Australia. They'll be giving us blessings, and these shoes, if we can remember when they come out, these shoes were on men's feet in the last 12 months, same as all these shoes you see behind you. I'd like to welcome the Djum Dharma House.